welcome back to my channel. Okay, if you are a cellist, these are must-have cello accessories that you all should absolutely have, and you're in the right place because I'm finding the best accessories for the cello, things that I think would be very helpful and will help you in the journey of playing the cello. So keep watching. So here's the good news, guys. Most of these products can be found on Amazon, so I will just put all the links in the description down below, and if you have any questions, just make sure you comment. Number one, this is a must-have for all cellists. It's so important that we take care of the instruments because you don't want rosin all over, which I do right now. So you have to have a nice cloth, and so the kind that I have is the yellow kind they use for cars and stuff like that, because what you want to do after each practice, you really should rub down your cello, otherwise the rosin's going to build up at the fingerboard, and then your fingers going to be all sticky, and then the strings are going to be all rosiny, which really does affect sound production. And also the wood will be affected if you don't wipe things down. Things get built up and it gets dirty. So just try to get a wipe like this that has this kind of texture that is kind of velvety. It's kind of like the ones that you use for like wiping your glasses. So something like that would be very good. That's thing number one. A rag for your cello, must have. Number two is your rosin. And actually I have literally used this brand, which was called Andrea, but they recently rebranded, so it's now called Cecilia. And I was really excited when I got in touch with Cecilio, or they contacted me and they were like, would you like to try out some of our rosin? I was like, I've been using it literally for over 10 years. Like, I don't use anything else. I've tried out all other rosin. The hands down Cecilia is one of the best because really, you know, it's really different. It's not just like any rosin works on a cello. It's like it requires certain kind of stickiness, which again, I'm all about sound production. I've spent years working on my sound production, so I really need a rosin that really has really good sound production and that helps me, you know, grab the strings to produce that good sound. So, and it's really great because Cecilia has different kinds of rosins and they each function a little bit differently, but it's up to you which one you like, and it kind of explore and experiment. This is a must-have. Must-have for every cellist, regardless of what level you are, from beginner to advanced to professional. This is hands down the best rosin. 100%. Number three, let's talk about strings. Now this is a little bit tricky to talk about because everybody's cello is different and responds to different strings differently. For example, Larsen strings just sound too muted for my cello. My cello really requires that kind of core sound that I really look for and like. This is a French cello, so I need that extra punch. And for me personally, these are the strings I've used over the years. They are expensive, but they are very good. They are just very good, and they last me a long time unless I break them, or, you know, I play like non-stop, like 12 hours a day for like every day for 3 months straight, then I have to change it more frequently, but usually lasts me at least 6 months. Okay, so for A and D strings, I use Jargar strings Forte, and there are different types. So, and maybe I'll go into more about selecting your strings in another video, but just bear in mind that you just have to experiment and find the best strings. And then for G and C string, I use Spirocore, Tungsten. And these take a little while to break in, and once you break in, oof, gorgeous, gorgeous sounds. So these are currently the strings that I have for that. So I highly recommend them. If you're a beginner student, you probably don't need these because these are more for like professionals. Beginners, I think it matters less, but I will put some strings that are good for beginners in the down bar so you can look for them. Number four, speaking of beginners, if you're just starting out your journey in playing the cello, I so highly recommend this method book. I teach all my cello students using these alongside with Suzuki. While I really love Suzuki, I also really love Essential Elements because it teaches you a little bit of theory and it breaks things down and breaks things into little chunks so that you don't feel overwhelmed. So I feel like these are really, really strong method books, and if you're starting out, definitely get this. Okay, let's talk about stopper. This is number 5, I think. Stoppers. So this is called a Minihorn, and mine looks really beat up because I brought it literally everywhere, including the ocean. So it looks beat up, but I really like how it sticks. I feel like for most stoppers, at some point they just slip. Like if you have a dirty floor, or if, I don't know, after using it for a while, it still slips. This holds up pretty well, and I'm impressed with that, and also it's really pretty. Another one, more for beginners, and I'm using it right now because sometimes I lose these things or whatever, or I just need to be solid and not have, like if I'm performing or something, I don't want to have a chance using a stopper because sometimes it might like move. So I get these. And these do just fine. They are nothing fancy at all, but it does the job, and it's pretty affordable on Amazon, so that's why I recommend them. I've gone through like 3 of these already, and they work fine. Now, if you have seen my video comparing cellos, which is probably how you found me. If you haven't, I'm gonna link it right here. This video went viral, but I have also this other video right here where I compare a Cecilio cello, which is a more student cello, to a professional cello, and also this cello, which is from eBay. This is just a prop cello, and it sounds absolutely not so good. Horrible. It sounds horrible, okay? But the Cecilia cello is about 250 or 60, somewhere around there, and it's a decent sounding cello. I don't have it with me right now, but I'll link that video so you can go watch and listen to see how it sounds like. I think a lot of people like stop from like picking up the cello because they think that, oh my gosh, you know, buying a cello is such a commitment. Where do I buy it? It's so expensive. And my whole thing is like, just spend $250 and buy a cello and use it for a while. You can use it for at least half a year. And if you really are invested and want to go further with the cello after spending 6 months to a year on the cello, then you can invest on a better cello. Usually the next grade is like $2 to $5 grand, depending on which makers. So that's why I think the Cecilia works just fine for beginners for the initial stages, and that also is like better than like renting, because that can add up as well. Now let's talk about music stand. There are 2 kinds that I want to talk about, both of which I think you need. One is the one that you can use at home, the Manhasset, which is so solid, and I just hate flimsy music stands, you know, like things that are wobbly. And so I have a Manhasset music stand because when I practice at home, especially I'm using the iPad, I don't want it to fall down or anything like that. So that is a must for musicians that practice at home. Those of you who may gig in the future, or if your house is small or something, you don't want a big music stand, you want something that folds up, definitely get one of these music stands. And I don't think there's an exact one on Amazon for mine. I got this in Japan years ago, and it used to be like the lightest folding stand, but it's still pretty solid. When you like use it, it doesn't like, it's not terribly flimsy, and it's not so terribly heavy. Now, like, yeah, I know this is like, I think we're all transitioning into everything digital, and for me, this has been everything, because I would travel around the world, and I'm not gonna be bringing big, heavy music. I scan everything and I put it in my iPad. It's really great. Or even like if you can find a big tablet, but iPad, I feel like it's just more reliable. And also there are apps that go along with it, and I might do like apps for cellists video separately. But you know, if you're really serious about music, and or if you're you know, at the beginning of your career, I really recommend that you invest in an iPad. It's a good investment, and there are different generations, I think, and so each generation might be, so you can maybe get the slightly older generations that are not as expensive, but it's such a good investment. You can write music on it. Like I use like 90% of the time. No, actually, I would say like 98% of the time when I teach and practice and perform now, it's all on my iPad, and I just back up everything. Just make sure you back up everything. But this iPad is so versatile, and I'm just, yeah, definitely iPad. Another thing I recommend is a nice, good practice mute for the cello, because I don't know about you, but I have neighbors. When I was living in New York, you know, when I want to practice at 2 in the morning, I just put that bad boy on and it dampens the sound a whole lot. Now, I don't recommend practicing all the time with the mute because it does affect how you play. So, but when you need it, I think it's very important that you have it. And also this little mute that I've had for many years, this is good too. I like it, and I'll link it down below. And then if you're a beginner cellist, you may want to display your, let's say, Cecilia cello. Like for me, I'm not going to display my fancy cello, 200-euro cello, because it needs to be in the case. The humidity might affect it, but this one is my prop cello, so I display it. And this is a fantastic cello stand. Well, it's really originally a guitar stand, but I found it online and I use it for my cello stand and I love it. It's really great. So if you want to display your student cello, I think that's quite okay. And last but not least, for now, there's definitely more accessories and maybe I'll do another follow-up. But for now, the last one, this is my favorite, my mask that I found, which I love so much. I've been looking for one that has music on it because I saw my friend wearing it, and this one is just so comfortable and I wear it everywhere. I'm sure if you like see me on Instagram, you would have seen me with that mask on, so I love this. Can you comment down below and let me know what other cello accessories that you have that I did not mention or that you want me to review or cover in the future? Please comment down below. And of course, as usual, I appreciate your time so much, and thank you so much for liking and sharing and subscribing, all which helps this video to be seen by more people so that I can, you know, help everybody out and we're building this big, nice cello community. Also, I would love to hear if you have any suggestions for future videos, and if you want to watch my visual album Passion, which is like a whole movie all about cello and a little bit about my personal love life, then make sure to click right here and you can see the entire movie for free. Isn't that great? Okay, until next time, I'll see you. Bye guys!